Hello, everyone, and welcome to Speak English for Beginners. I'm Emma, and I'm very happy you are here with us today.
And I'm Jack. Wherever you are listening, maybe at home, on the bus, at work, or outside, we hope you can relax and enjoy practicing English with us.
Today, we are talking about something that makes many English learners nervous, answering job interview questions in English.
Yes, and we will learn some simple methods to help you answer common interview questions clearly, naturally, and with more confidence.
This episode is for A1 to B1 learners, so we will use practical English that you can understand, remember, and actually use.
You do not need difficult vocabulary to have a good interview. Simple and clear answers can be very powerful.
Before we begin, imagine this situation. Tomorrow morning, you have an important job interview in English.
You prepare your clothes, arrive at the company, meet the interviewer, and sit down.
You feel ready. You practiced your English last night and you know what you want to say.
Then the interviewer smiles and asks, "Can you tell me about yourself?"
And suddenly, your mind is completely empty. Your English was perfect 5 minutes ago, but now your brain says, "Sorry, we are closed."
If this happens to you, don't worry. It is very common. An interview can feel stressful even in your first language.
So, our first important idea is this. You do not need a perfect answer. You need a clear answer.
Let's start with that famous question, "Tell me about yourself."
Many people find this difficult because the question is very open. What should you talk about?
Your childhood? Your family? Your favorite movie? What you ate for breakfast?
Probably not. In a job interview, this question usually means, tell me briefly about your professional background and why you are here.
We can make the answer easier with 3 simple ideas: present, past, and future.
Present means what you do now. Past means useful experience you had before. Future means what you want to do next.
Here is an example. I'm Emma. I currently work in customer service. I have 2 years of experience helping customers and solving problems. Now I'm looking for a new opportunity where I can learn and grow.
That is simple, but it gives the interviewer useful information.
First, I explained my present situation. I currently work in customer service.
Then you mentioned your past experience. I have 2 years of experience helping customers.
And finally, I talked about my future. I'm looking for a new opportunity where I can learn and grow.
Present, past, future. You can remember these 3 words before your interview. But Jack, what if someone has never had a job before?
Good question. You can still use the same method. Instead of job experience, talk about your education, skills, projects, or volunteer experience.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. I recently finished school, and I'm interested in working with people. At school, I worked on team projects and learned how to communicate with others. Now, I'm looking for my first job where I can gain experience and develop my skills.
That sounds positive. You didn't focus on having no experience.
Exactly. Focus on what you have, not only on what you don't have.
Maybe you learn quickly. Maybe you are responsible, organized, friendly, or good with technology.
These things can be valuable, especially when you are applying for your first job.
Now let's learn another easy method. We can call it answer, explain, example.
I like that. 3 simple steps again.
Imagine the interviewer asks, what is one of your strengths?
A strength is something you are good at or a positive quality you have.
First, answer directly. One of my strengths is that I'm very organized.
Then explain. I like to plan my work and decide which tasks are most important.
Finally, give an example. In my last job, I used a daily task list, and it helped me finish my work on time.
Answer, explain, example. That makes your answer easy to understand.
Jack, let's practice. What is one of your strengths?
One of my strengths is communication. I listen carefully and try to understand people before I answer. In my previous job, this helped me communicate well with customers.
Very nice. You didn't just say, I'm good at communication, you showed us how.
Yes, because anyone can say I'm hardworking, friendly, organized, creative, amazing, fantastic. Okay, Jack, we understand. You are perfect. Thank you. Please tell every company immediately.
But this is an important point. Interviewers usually want examples because examples make your answers more believable.
You don't need a dramatic story. A small example from school, work, or daily life is enough.
Now let's try another common question. Why do you want this job?
For this question, think about two things: what you like about the job and what you can bring to it.
For example, I want this job because I enjoy helping people, and customer service is an important part of this position. I also think my communication skills can help me work well with your team.
You are showing interest in the job and explaining how your skills can help the company.
If you are applying for an office job, you could say, I'm interested in this position because I enjoy organized work and learning new systems. I'm comfortable using computers, and I want to develop my office skills.
Notice that these answers use normal English. You do not need to sound like an English dictionary. In fact, trying to use very difficult words can make you more nervous.
If you forget a complicated word, you may stop in the middle of your answer and lose confidence.
So choose words that you know well. Your goal is communication, not showing every English word you have ever learned.
Another helpful method is to prepare small stories before the interview instead of memorizing long answers.
For example, prepare one story about solving a problem, one about working with other people, and one about learning something new.
The same story can help you answer several different interview questions. Imagine you helped an unhappy customer and solved the problem calmly.
That story could show communication, patience, problem-solving, teamwork, or customer service skills.
This means you do not need to memorize 20 perfect speeches.
You only need to understand your experience, remember a few useful examples, and explain them with simple English.
And when you know the idea you want to communicate, you can change your words naturally if you forget a sentence.
That is one of the best ways to feel more confident. Remember your message, not every single word.
Now, let's practice a question that many people find uncomfortable. What is one of your weaknesses?
Ah, the weakness question. Suddenly you have to tell a stranger something you are not good at.
Yes, and some people try to avoid the question by saying, I don't really have any weaknesses.
Which can sound like your weakness is answering interview questions.
A better method is simple. Choose a real weakness, explain what you are doing about it, and show improvement.
So we can remember 3 steps: weakness, action, progress.
Exactly. For example, sometimes I feel nervous when speaking in front of a large group, so I have started practicing presentations more often. I'm becoming more comfortable with it.
That answer is honest, but it also shows that you are trying to improve.
Another example could be, sometimes I spend too much time checking small details. I'm learning to manage my time better and focus on the most important tasks first.
The important thing is not to choose a weakness that makes you completely unsuitable for the job.
Right. If you are applying to be a driver, saying, I'm not very good at driving is probably not your strongest interview strategy.
And if the job requires talking with customers, saying, I hate talking to people, may create a small problem.
Choose something honest but manageable and explain how you are working on it. This shows something employers often like, self-awareness.
Self-awareness means understanding yourself, including your strengths and the things you need to improve.
Now, let's move to another common question. Why should we hire you?
This question sounds difficult because it feels like you need to prove that you are better than everyone else.
But you don't need to say, hire me because I am the greatest employee in human history.
Please don't say that.
I'll remove it from my interview notes.
A simple method is to connect three things: your skill, the job, and the result.
Let's hear an example. I think I would be a good fit for this job because I communicate well with people. This position requires good customer service, and I believe I can help customers feel comfortable and supported.
Skill, communication. Job, customer service. Result, customers feel supported.
Exactly. You can also say, I'm responsible and I learn quickly. I know this job requires new systems, and I'm confident that I can learn them and become a useful member of the team.
Notice the phrase, I would be a good fit for this job.
A good fit means that your skills, personality, or experience match the position well.
That is a useful phrase you can remember for interviews.
Now, imagine the interviewer asks you, can you tell me about a difficult situation at work?
This is where many learners start telling a very long story.
They begin with Monday morning, then explain the weather, then describe what everyone was wearing.
And 20 minutes later, we still don't know what the problem was.
So let's use another simple structure: situation, action, result.
First, briefly explain the situation, then say what you did, finally explain what happened.
For example, in my previous job, a customer was unhappy because an order was late. I listened to the customer, apologized, and checked the order. I found the problem and arranged a new delivery. The customer thanked me for helping.
That is a complete story, but it is still short and easy to understand.
Situation: the order was late. Action: you listened and found a solution. Result: the customer was satisfied.
You can use this method for questions about problems, teamwork, mistakes, challenges, or achievements.
Let's try one about teamwork. Drac, tell me about a time you worked successfully with a team.
In my last job, our team had a busy week with many customer orders. We divided the tasks and communicated throughout the day. We completed all the important orders on time.
Simple, clear, and easy to follow.
And I didn't need complicated grammar to explain it.
That is something learners should remember. Good interview answers are not English exams.
The interviewer usually wants to understand your experience and how you think.
Of course, speaking clearly is helpful, but a small grammar mistake does not automatically destroy your interview.
If you say, yesterday I help a customer, instead of yesterday I helped a customer, the interviewer can probably still understand you.
Correct yourself if you can, but don't panic. You can simply continue speaking.
Now, what happens if you don't understand the interviewer's question?
This is very important because some learners pretend they understand and then answer a completely different question.
You do not have to pretend. Asking politely is much better.
You can say, could you repeat the question, please?
Or, could you say that again, please?
You can also say, could you explain what you mean by that?
These sentences are professional and completely normal.
Native English speakers sometimes ask interviewers to repeat questions too.
Another problem happens when you understand the question but need a few seconds to think.
Silence can feel very long when someone is waiting for your answer. Instead of immediately saying for 10 seconds, use a thinking phrase.
For example, that's a good question. Let me think for a moment.
Or, I haven't thought about that before, but I would say.
These phrases give your brain a little time to prepare the answer.
And they sound calmer than trying to speak before you know what you want to say.
Another useful technique is to slow down.
When people are nervous, they often speak much faster than usual.
I know that feeling. Your mouth starts running and your brain is behind saying, "Wait for me!"
Speaking a little slower gives you time to choose your words, and it also makes you easier to understand.
You can pause between ideas. A short pause is not a mistake.
In fact, a calm pause can make you sound more confident.
And remember to breathe normally. You are having a professional conversation, not running a race.
One useful practice method is to record yourself answering 3 common questions on your phone.
Listen to your recording and ask, was my answer clear? Did I give an example? Did I speak too quickly?
Don't try to make every sentence perfect. Choose one thing to improve each time.
Maybe today you practice speaking more slowly. Tomorrow you practice giving clearer examples.
Little improvements are easier to manage, and after several practice sessions, you may notice that your answers feel much more natural.
Because confidence in an interview usually does not come from memorizing perfect sentences. It comes from practicing your ideas until you can explain them comfortably.
Now, let's talk about the final part of many interviews because there is one question that can surprise learners. Do you have any questions for us?
Some people immediately say, no, I don't have any questions.
But asking 1 or 2 good questions can show that you are interested in the job.
And your question does not need to be complicated. You could ask, what does a typical day in this job look like?
That is a great question because it helps you understand what you may actually do every day.
You could also ask, what skills are most important for this position?
Or, what would you like the new employee to learn in the first few months?
These questions show curiosity and interest.
And remember, an interview is not only about the company choosing you, you are also learning about the company.
Exactly. You want to know if the job is a good fit for you, too.
Now, Jack, let's do a short practice interview using some of the methods we learned.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm already feeling nervous, and this interview isn't even real.
Welcome, Jack. Thank you for coming today. Could you tell me a little about yourself?
Of course, I currently work in a small electronics store where I help customers and organize products. I have about 2 years of customer service experience, and now I'm looking for an opportunity where I can develop my skills and take on more responsibility.
Great. Why are you interested in this position?
I'm interested because I enjoy working with people and solving problems. I know this position involves helping customers every day, and I think my previous experience would be useful here.
What would you say is one of your strengths?
One of my strengths is patience. I try to stay calm when someone has a problem. For example, in my current job, I sometimes help customers who are frustrated with a product, and I take time to understand what they need.
And what is one weakness you are currently working on?
Sometimes I feel nervous when I need to speak in front of a group. I have started practicing more and volunteering to speak during small team meetings, so I'm slowly becoming more confident.
Very good. Why should we hire you?
I think I would be a good fit because I have customer service experience, I learn quickly, and I enjoy helping people. I would also be happy to learn your systems and support the team wherever I can.
Excellent. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, what does a typical day in this position look like?
Very nice. Interview finished. How are you feeling?
Much better. Do I have the job?
I'll call you on Monday.
Oh no, that sounds like a polite way to keep me nervous all weekend.
But notice something about Jack's answers. They were not extremely long.
And I didn't use difficult vocabulary.
He answered the question, gave useful information, and added examples when necessary.
That is a much better goal than trying to sound perfect.
Now let's review some useful interview vocabulary from this episode.
The first word is strength. A strength is something you are good at or a positive quality you have.
For example, one of my strengths is communication.
The opposite is weakness. A weakness is something you are not very strong at and may want to improve.
For example, one of my weaknesses is speaking in front of large groups.
Another useful word is experience. Experience is knowledge or skill you get from doing something.
You might say, I have 3 years of experience in customer service.
We also use the word position. In a job interview, a position means a particular job.
For example, I'm interested in this position because I enjoy working with customers.
Another useful expression is a good fit.
If you are a good fit for a job, your skills, experience, or personality match what the company needs.
You can say, I believe I would be a good fit for this position.
And remember the simple methods we practiced today.
For tell me about yourself, think present, past, future.
For questions about your strengths, think answer, explain, example.
For difficult experiences, remember situation, action, result.
And for weaknesses, think weakness, action, progress.
You don't have to memorize hundreds of sentences. These small structures can help you organize your thoughts.
Before your interview, choose 5 common questions and practice answering them aloud.
Not only inside your head, actually speak.
Yes, because thinking in English and speaking English are different experiences.
You can practice in front of a mirror, record yourself on your phone, or practice with a friend.
And if you make a mistake, continue. Don't restart your answer every time one word is wrong.
Real conversations are not perfect. Even native speakers stop, change words, and correct themselves.
The interviewer is meeting a person, not listening to a grammar machine.
That is good news, because I would be a terrible grammar machine. Before we finish, imagine your next job interview for a moment.
The interviewer asks you a question, and this time you don't panic.
You listen carefully, take a small pause, and think about the simple structures we practiced.
Then you give a clear answer, using English that feels comfortable for you.
Maybe your grammar is not perfect. Maybe you need to ask the interviewer to repeat something.
That is okay. Keep communicating and focus on your message.
If you want to practice right now, answer this question in the comments. What is one of your strengths?
You can write, "One of my strengths is," and then give a short example.
This is a simple way to practice English while preparing for a real interview.
And try saying your answer out loud, too. The more often you practice speaking, the more familiar the words will feel.
Thank you for spending this time with us on Speak English for Beginners.
We hope these simple methods make your next English job interview easier and less stressful.
Remember, you do not need the most difficult English. You need clear ideas, useful examples, and the confidence to communicate.
Keep practicing, keep learning, and believe in the skills you can bring to your future job.
Don't forget to subscribe to Speak English for Beginners for more easy conversations, listening practice, useful vocabulary, and everyday English lessons.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again soon on Speak English for Beginners.